All right, this is going to be one take, real and raw. That's how I like to live my life and what I stand by. Okay, so right here, if you saw this through a real, if you saw this through a job application, my name is Kai Thackthay. Probably says Kyle. I got the name Kai. Obviously, it's half of my name, but my niece and nephew. I've been a uncle since I was 11. Would always call me Kai Kai. And so I started kind of adopting that name. What you're going to see here is just this logo that I would use to freelance, just kind of makes my name memorable. But yeah, I go by Kai, last name Thackthay, or create with Kai, because this is everything I created. Here you'll see kind of a little directory of all of the projects that I've have chosen to highlight. I do have a couple smaller ones, one-off things, but these are my main projects. Starting off with my most recent project, SBS Motors /SBS Transport. I currently am employed by them and I have been full time for 6 months now. And prior to that, I was freelancing, working I would say 20 hours a week, 15 to 20 hours, starting with social, and then realized that they need a lot more of an online presence. So my role has definitely expanded as my time there. They are two companies owned by an immigrant couple. SBS is the names are the yeah, SBS Transport. So SBS began when a couple moved from Europe with no English years ago and just wanted to kind of live the American dream. They decided to move cars for a living and turned that into an entire logistics brokerage. However, the husband, Marco, loves cars. He raced cars back in Europe and wanted to start a dealership as well, obviously, kind of as a hobby, but also to make money. So that's how I started working with both companies. I've truly loved every single second living here. They're really hardworking. It's inspiring. It's a great story, and it makes it easy to go to work when you love and know the why. So my roles began as social media coordinator, content creator, etc. But like I said, that has really transformed into marketing on both sides. I currently split my time. Well, as of 6 weeks ago, no, as of a month ago, I started splitting my time 30 hours a week on SBS Motors side, 10 hours a week on SBS Trans. No. t- As of a month ago, I started splitting my time between the two companies, SBS Transport about 12 hours a week, 9 to 12, SBS Motors, the remaining about 30 hours a week. My main role when I am working in the morning time with SBS Transport is to help them with their logistics company as a logistics broker. I handle all outside brokers. We move OEM products. Something I'm really proud of is since I've joined the team, I have allowed my team to have the bandwidth to expand, and we actually gained a new contract with Mitsubishi, moving them in an entire new region that we already set footing in. We also have moved the most vehicles that we have in years, and have had less damages and expanded our entire network. There are some marketing efforts that I do for them um, daily and monthly, but they're not like traditional marketing, so I didn't choose to highlight them. After I do that, on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. Before, I was splitting my time 50-50 every single day, Monday through Friday. I work on the SBS Motor side. So I continue to do social media, make sure I know all the trends, film videos, edit videos, add text, make sure we have a full force strategy across all platforms. Um, Instagram and TikTok are really real heavy, but Facebook is kind of where I specialize as well. So making sure, especially because we are selling used cars, that I am hitting the right places. So posting on three separate accounts. Well, technically four. We have three accounts for business/sales people that I run all of them, and I make sure to post in different groups, highlighting different communities, both static post and reels. And then I obviously manage our main account. In addition to that, I spend a lot of my time handling Facebook advertisement. We use Facebook paid ads specifically for highlighting a single unit car versus for Google ads, which I'll get into. I do focus more on overall building the brand ads. We will have carousels that include multiple that are paid that include multiple vehicles. For example, coupes and convertibles will be in one. All of our electric cars might be in one, but for the most part, these are predominantly going to also be integrating or also be focused. For the most part, these are going to be focused on individual units. A huge part of my role is photographing every single vehicle that comes into the dealership, getting it posted using their management system called Web Manager, and then also managing all of our listings on Facebook Marketplace. The reason why this is important is because we really try to utilize free marketing as much as possible, and we have found that advertising specifically through Marketplace is not a good ROI. So I really have to manage. Every car that's being posted between three accounts, and my strategy is post one. If it sits for X amount of time, post it on the second, and then on third, and then we will repost. So I manage all of those. I do all copy as well and create all descriptions, etc. One major point to their business has been Google as a whole. I kind of forgot to put this in the duties now that I'm looking at this, so I'll go back and edit that. But they had no presence on Google. You couldn't find them on the maps. And even though we have a great location, we're kind of out of the way at the same time. So, really making it a point that we are right here, we're by the mall, we're off the busiest street where all the restaurants are. You just have to take a turn. And then when you take that turn, we're right here. So, getting them seen, getting them on Google Maps, getting them on Apple Maps, and growing their Google business profile. Before, they didn't have anything on there. So I added all of that and have been also focusing on Google ads as well. In addition to that, focusing on SEO and website so we can be seen. Unfortunately, I am restricted on both the mobile and web versions that I have built because they have to use Web Manager for their inventory and CRM system. It just integrates well and allows us to post at one place and also post the vehicles other places. So I have rebuilt the website. We are in actually phase two of, or yeah, phase two specifically focusing on fixing our mobile app, but that has also been a huge part of my role, especially in these last 6 months. In the last 6 months, I focus on Facebook ads, Google ads, website and SEO, and some other little projects that I'm going to get into. Like I said, social media, creating all the platform. I added some of our best content. We have quite a bit of videos that have at least 10K views. Um, some of these have equated to sales as well, so I went ahead and add them. They're super simple. They're not anything crazy. I've wanted to expand on the social media content, especially since I was originally hired for that, and that was my forte. However, we have gone through quite a bit of turnover. I've been through 4 GMs, 6 salesmen since I have been with them. I'm the longest tenured on this side, on the motor side. And in addition to that, I am probably the person that knows the most about this side and the brand itself. I've honestly created the brand. I've created who we want to be, our identity, etc. And one thing I didn't want is to show the amount of turnover as well. So there's not a lot of people in them, and that makes it limited. I also didn't want to be the face because, especially in the beginning, I was just freelancing and I didn't know how long this partnership was going to be. I didn't think I should build a brand with me just to leave. As far as Facebook and Google ads, I can show you a whole bunch of campaigns with real numbers. Just know I have effectively sold cars. All of my campaigns, I have a monthly analytics report for everything, but specifically for our campaigns. And all of our cost per clicks have always been right where we want them. Very rarely have they been too high. And our ads have really helped shape our sales, especially this year. We're finally averaging more than 10 cars per month on sales, and I would have to do with my advertising efforts for sure. I manage more over $1,000 per month. Every single week, we have at least 7 ads running across all platforms. So that's a little bit about that. Website overview. This is what it looks like before. It was pretty bare bones. It was pretty basic. It had nothing about who they are, where they're located, what if you can finance, all of the above. So I really given us a clear brand image. I've created so many different pages, specific car pages, really honed in on copy, and have just revamped the entire thing. And it's going through another revamp specifically on mobile. I've done both, but the mobile version I've learned is getting the most traction, and I want to create a more like an app. So, some extracurriculars, I like to say my most valuable trait is that I'm just a growth partner. You can ask them, they don't give me very much direction. They really trust me, and I continue to just show that I'm capable of so many different things. And ultimately, I know how to strategically think in terms of the dealership in itself because we've gone over so much turnover. I've really have always stepped up for them, selling cars, working with clients, making sure that cars that have been sold and are coming back for different services are taken care of. um, yeah, making sure, and I'm really the only liaison between all parties of this business. So the process here is that vehicles are purchased at an auction and they need to be transported. Because I work in the brokerage, I do handle all transportation for vehicles bought from auction for motors. So I handle that, make sure it gets here, comes safely, do all of that. And then I work with the service team pretty much every day. I know every single car, their problems, special things about them, things that need to be fixed, and I work hand in hand with the service team to make sure that happens. I honestly, again, know more about the inventory than a lot of the other workers here. So overall, I'm really just a great growth partner, I would say, and really invest my time because I don't know if I'm going to be a part of something I want it to be great. I think of it as a reflection of myself. Some other things, obviously, logistic brokering, Cummins lawsuit. I did an entire campaign that has been very successful. For a lawsuit because SBS Transport is suing Cummins Incorporated over engine and warranty issues. I created an entire campaign with paid ads and sign up forms, and we got enough sign-ups, and we continued to get them, our submissions, sorry, and we continue to get them today that have really helped our case. The lawsuit has not been finalized, but that part has been. We stopped doing paid ads, so now everything's kind of organic. I also did a kind of simple marketing strategy for that. In addition to that, I have done some email campaigns for both sides, and I manage all inventory. I've done sales, like I said, and I have made some GoDaddy website changes, especially once they won Top Auto Transport Service. I did an email campaign and added that to the website for them as well. So yeah, I'm doing a lot in 40 hours. So my another project, and at the time I was handling both of these at the same time, was with Grid Pilates. This has been a very interesting project, and I think if I would have taken this project with the knowledge I have now, things would be very much different. They have so much potential, but also a lot of barriers. Grit Pilates is a male owned and ran Pilates studio. It is ran by one older gentleman, I want to say in his 60s, but he might be in his 50s. And that is a barrier in itself, both being a male Pilates studio in Grand Rapids, Michigan, who is not as politically forward thinking as major cities such as Chicago and Pilates as a whole. But also, you're ran by an older man, so that's also not the safest space for women who predominantly are in Pilates. So that was a huge thing. And really, he wanted someone to come in and do socials for his business, thinking that that would gain him clients and kind of make him go viral. But unfortunately, Grand Rapids social media is a complete different climate than a lot of bigger cities. I mean, it's not a major market. Social media is very, very small here. And so marketing really has to go a different direction. So I started off with socials and I continued to do that. But my role quickly expanded to handling Facebook ads, getting them set up on Google Business, and building their SEO, rebuilding their entire Wix website. And they did a Wix app to sign up as well. And I updated weekly specials on there in addition to marketing efforts, email marketing efforts. And then I really focus on community collaboration here, which I'll get into because the social media is not the biggest. So I obviously had to plan and film all of the videos, but one of the biggest things was creating collaboration, partnerships, and content with other Grand Rapids spaces. So the biggest thing here really is food talk, which it's not really popular in the sense of analytics in major cities, but here that is where most people are popping off on social media. So keeping that in mind, so I actually got in a collaboration with Fruition, which is their probably the biggest healthy eat place in Grand Rapids. They focus on acai bowls. They have multiple locations across the city and perfect for their market. In addition to that, I did get them a collaboration with the Grand Rapids Rise, that is a pro volleyball league here, so that also goes hand in hand. In addition to that, I obviously revamped their entire website, both mobile and web, and the Wix app as well, which I didn't provide examples for. It's not pretty, it's pretty simple. I wanted to eventually build off of this. This is actually a major barrier to the success of the business for the sheer fact that there's too many links, because once you hit the link, then you got to download the Wix app and then you got to go back in and search it. Too many barriers for new people, honestly, and especially the age demographic. So that is one major thing. Unfortunately, I only was getting paid for 10 hours a week, 10, maybe 15. So I could only do so much in such a small amount of time. Cascade Animal Hospital in Breton Village is just an insane experience that has taught me a lot and reminded me of my value. And sometimes you don't need to do more than what you are valued. So, the story behind this, I was signed on for a 3 month contract. I'm just going to read this because I love the copy that I did for this. 1 month success plus signups through social media. Have you ever gotten ghosted and used? Or have you ever gotten used and ghosted? This was my first time, period, but specifically professionally. That's okay. It was meant to be that way. I, before this, required at least a 3 month minimum contract with the thought of really going for half a year. However, they were only wanted somebody to help them market on socials for 3 months. It, because they were launching a brand new branch of their animal hospital. This is a very accredited veterinarian practice over 30 years, 3 generations in the family. It's been passed down, and they're finally moving to Caledonia, which is their hometown. And they hired me. In addition to that, they mentioned that I would potentially be working on some other projects like email campaigns and website banners for their launch and email signups as well, but the main focus was social medias. I created an entire strategy and plan that we agreed upon, and we moved forward, and I filmed and posted. After about a month of working together and really like a week of posting, I got told that they wanted to go a different direction. Specifically, 3 days after I posted this, that got 26,000 views, which is a lot for Facebook and this market in Caledonia, which doesn't even have. That's literally half of the population. So it was trending on. It was really good on Instagram as well, but it was definitely trending on Facebook and got 60 signups plus. But I remember that first day it was 60 signups on the link that I created in itself. After that, they decided to go another way. I think number one, they were already weary and they're very old school, so they were weary about social media and marketing. Number two, they were not ready for automatic signups or anticipating that 3 months out they would already have signups. They didn't understand how quickly this goes. And also, they wanted more traditional marketing, and I understood that, but at the same time they hired me to do something untraditional to them. So that was a really like a rock and a hard place for me. And at the same time, a new hire, she'd been there for 6 months, was managing me, but she had just chosen a different provider to update their website and it went horribly. So all of our efforts went there, and I think they were just a little bit already on edge with that. They got exactly what they wanted, they got signups, they got the word out there. My job was done, it lasted a month. Black Alphabet was a really, really, really great project and something I'm really proud of to just be a part of and be able to leave my impact very early in my freelancing career. So this is a gay nonprofit in Chicago. They offer art therapy sessions, and the owner also helps run a free film festival and recently opened up a community center that is going to be right out called the Jami Center. Again, I was originally brought on to help focus on social media content because at the time I was living in Grand Rapids there in Chicago, it was planned that I would eventually start going there and doing video content. But in the meantime, we focused on me doing social media carousel posts and kind of building out different series for them, as well as updating their main website, which then turned into me building two other websites. This is the website. I did every single page, not just a landing page on this website. The only thing that has been changed is the first photo when you open the website. Everything else still to this day is all me. Here is an example of some posts that did really well that we loved, focusing on news, things that people can slide and enjoy, and focusing on posting just kind of like World Star Hip Hop when you see news like that as well. So not necessarily political, just gay news, black success, etc. I did. These websites have not been changed since I have done anything from what I've seen. I did the website for the Jami Center and the graphics, the 3D rendering of the flower. I did that on Blender, and same goes for the Tala Roots website as well. For all of these projects that I've done website, I just want to know that I've done all copy, I've done all SEO work, and I've done all the branding. None of these had a branding kit. I created all of the branding kits. I chose the colors. I chose the fonts. I built all of that. I built the voice. So my background in social media comes to play. There are a couple projects that aren't going to be here, but I'm just kind of recapping some major ones. I worked with Global Gaming League, owned actually by T-Pain, so that was really cool to be a part of. And I helped them grow their social medias by planning out posts, being strategic, and then creating carousel posts as well. And then in addition to that, I would do like small presentations for them, and highlight clips and business-esque things. But that was my main role. I mainly focused on making sure the right posts were being posted for growth and creating carousel posts as well. Then I worked for another company that was owned by the same person, two separate companies owned by the same person. They're in the same exact industry, Clipper and Lolly. Lolly was more of a talent agency, which Clipper focused on building social media influencer views through clipping. You have got clipped. This is way before, this was like the beginning of streaming. So really I was in the forefront of this trend on social media. But between both companies, I did content calendars, content strategies, analytics reviews, all the things I'm doing for the other socials, but specifically in the social media influencer world. I also created media kits and acquired brand deals. I did help create some merch, but I also helped plan brand trips. I helped plan all videos. Um, Video ideas, created a monthly newsletter. Really, I was all things social. It was for business or any of the influencers that were signed to either agency. I was just a part of their growth. It really looked like various different things. Some other projects, I worked with Wyra Kitchen, did all their socials, commotion. I helped them, which they do strictly travel. Wyra Kitchens is a travel kitchen, our travel chef. I did Rise website and branding for them, and Katie Bean, Lisa Kay. I created an entire brand, and then I also did really great with some pitches. One of these, I will say, took my entire idea. but did not hire me. But I'm really proud of those, and if you want to check those out, you can check those out as well. But that is a recap of my experience and everything I've done freelancing in the past like year and a half or so. So I'm really proud of that. And I'm really grateful for every single one of these companies giving me a chance and being a part of my journey, and just giving me education. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Here's my contact on the screen.